my name is Sarah, and before we jump into our Christmas world of English, let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried to join a Christmas conversation in English, but you felt lost after the first few sentences? Maybe the phrases sounded too fast, too cultural, or simply too unfamiliar. Well, today, that ends, because in this video, I'm going to guide you through some of the most essential, natural, and widely used English phrases for Christmas. And trust me, some of them will surprise you. Welcome to Native Flow English, where you learn real English, the English people actually use in daily life. If you want to speak English more confidently this Christmas season, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below telling me which country you're watching from. I read every single comment. Now, let's begin. I want you to imagine a Christmas scene with me. I'm standing at my front door, holding a warm cup of hot chocolate. Snow is falling slowly outside. The lights on the street are glowing, and tonight, we are preparing for a special Christmas gathering. This is where our story begins. And through this story, you will learn natural English phrases that you can use immediately. I open the door, take a breath of the cold winter air, and say, I can't believe Christmas is almost here. This is our first phrase, a very natural one. When something is approaching quickly, native speakers often say, I can't believe it's almost here. You can use this with other events too. I can't believe the weekend is almost here, but for Christmas, it feels especially meaningful. Inside my house, I begin decorating the living room. While hanging ornaments on the Christmas tree, I say, I'm trying to make the place feel more festive. The word festive is one you will hear a lot during Christmas. When something feels joyful, celebratory, bright, and connected to holiday spirit, we say festive. For example, your sweater looks festive, or the music really makes the room feel festive. As I continue decorating, I receive a call from a close friend who asks, Hey Sarah, are you getting ready for the holidays? This question is extremely common in English-speaking countries. Getting ready for the holidays can mean decorating, shopping, traveling, planning meals, or anything related to Christmas preparation. You can answer, yes, I'm getting everything ready, or not yet, but I need to start soon. I finish arranging the lights and say, I think the tree looks beautiful this year. Christmas trees are central to the holiday season, and you will hear many phrases like this. For example, we finally put up the tree, or we're decorating the tree tonight. The phrase put up the tree simply means set it up. Now I walk to the kitchen to prepare some cookies. While mixing the ingredients, I say to myself, I love baking during Christmas. Many people enjoy holiday baking. So, you can use this phrase to talk about your traditions. You can also say, we always bake cookies for Christmas Eve, or my family has a Christmas baking tradition. Suddenly, my neighbor knocks on the door. When I open it, she smiles and says, Merry Christmas, Sarah. I reply, Merry Christmas. Come on in, it's nice to see you. These might be simple greetings, but they are essential. Merry Christmas is the classic phrase, but you can also say, Happy Holidays, especially when speaking to someone you don't know well or someone who may celebrate different holidays in December. My neighbor looks around the living room and says, Wow, your decorations are lovely. I answer, Thank you. I've been working on them all morning. This is natural English. I've been working on them all morning is a perfect example of daily conversation. You can use the same structure for other tasks. I've been studying all afternoon, or I've been cleaning the house all day. We sit down at the table, and she asks, Do you have any plans for Christmas Eve? Again, this is a very common question. Plans for Christmas Eve can include family gatherings, dinners, church services, parties, or quiet time at home. I respond, Yes. I'm hosting a small dinner for friends. The phrase hosting a dinner means you are inviting people to your home and preparing the meal. My neighbor nods and says, That sounds wonderful. Christmas dinners are always special. This is true for many cultures. So you can use this phrase easily. Christmas dinners are always special. You can also say, We have a big Christmas dinner every year. Or, I'm looking forward to Christmas dinner. As we talk, I offer her some cookies. She takes one and says, These taste amazing. Did you make them from scratch? This phrase is common when someone wants to know if you made something by yourself, without using ready-made ingredients. I reply, Yes, I made them from scratch. It's part of my holiday tradition. Then she asks, Are you done with your Christmas shopping? Another very common question. Christmas shopping is a huge cultural activity. I shake my head and say, Not yet. I still need to pick up a few gifts. You can adjust this phrase easily. I still need to buy a few gifts. Or, I'm almost done with my Christmas shopping. She laughs and says, I know the feeling. The stores are so crowded this time of year. Again, this is true in many countries. You can use this phrase even if you are shopping online, simply to describe the busy holiday atmosphere. After a few minutes, we move back to the living room. I plug in the Christmas lights, and they brighten the entire room. She says, Your home feels so warm and cozy. The words warm and cozy are perfect for describing the emotional feeling of comfort during the holidays. You can say, This cafe feels cozy, or I want my living space to feel warm and cozy. Before she leaves, I walk her to the door and say, Thanks for stopping by. Have a wonderful holiday season. This is another essential phrase. Holiday season refers to the weeks surrounding Christmas and New Year. People use it all the time. Enjoy the holiday season. Or, It's my favorite time of year. She waves goodbye and says, Thanks, Sarah. Enjoy your Christmas preparations. When I close the door, I take a deep breath and say to myself, There's still so much to do before Christmas. This is a common phrase, and you can use it whenever you feel overwhelmed by holiday tasks. As the evening settles in, the snow outside grows heavier, falling in soft layers that make the whole neighborhood look like a postcard. I walk back into the living room, look around, and say softly, The house is finally starting to feel like Christmas. This is a very natural phrase you will hear all the time. When something begins to match the mood or feeling of a holiday, event, or season, people say, "It's starting to feel like Christmas," or "It's finally starting to feel like winter." I turn on some soft Christmas music in the background, and the sound immediately fills the room with warmth. I whisper to myself, "Christmas music always puts me in a good mood." This is another phrase you can use with anything that affects your emotion. For example, sunny weather puts me in a good mood, or this movie always puts me in a good mood. The doorbell rings again. This time, it's my cousin, Mark, who has just finished work. When I open the door, he steps in, brushing snow off his coat, and says, "Wow, it's freezing out there." This is a very common phrase during winter. When the weather is extremely cold, people simply say, "It's freezing out there." Even if the temperature is not literally below zero, I hand him a cup of hot chocolate and say, "Here, warm yourself up." This phrase is natural and often used when someone comes inside from the cold. You can also say, "Come in and warm up," or "Have something warm to drink." Mark looks around the room and smiles. You really went all out with the decorations this year. When you go all out, it means you put in a lot of effort or did something with enthusiasm and detail. You can use it in many situations. They went all out for the birthday party. Or, she went all out for the celebration. I reply, I wanted everything to look perfect. Christmas only comes once a year. This is a classic expression, and you'll hear it for many holidays or events. It only comes once a year means it's special and worth the effort. We sit down on the couch, and Mark asks, "Have you started wrapping your presents yet?" This phrase is important. Wrapping presents means covering gifts with decorative paper. You can say, "I still need to wrap my gifts," or "I wrapped all the presents last night." I shake my head and say, "Not yet. I'm planning to do it this weekend." Mark nods and says, "Same here. I always wait until the last minute." This is another very common phrase. When you delay something until the final possible moment, you wait until the last minute. He takes a sip of his drink and asks, "Are you sending out Christmas cards this year?" Sending Christmas cards is a popular tradition, especially in English-speaking countries. You can respond with, "Yes, I'm sending out a few cards," or "No, I stopped sending cards years ago." I answer, "Yes, I'm sending some to my family abroad." Then I add, "I still need to write a few more messages." The phrase, "I still need to," is extremely common, and you can use it with almost any task. "I still need to finish my shopping," or "I still need to buy groceries." Mark pulls out his phone to show me a picture of his Christmas tree. I look at it and say, "Your tree looks amazing. Did you decorate it yourself?" This is a natural question to ask someone showing you holiday decorations. He laughs and says, "I decorated most of it, but the kids helped with the ornaments." You can replace ornaments with lights, garlands, Or tinsel. After talking for a few minutes, Mark stands up and says, I should probably head home. I still have a lot to get done before the holidays. This phrase is perfect when you have many tasks left. I still have a lot to get done. Before he leaves, I hand him a small bag and say, Here, take some cookies with you. He smiles and says, Thanks, Sarah. You're a lifesaver. This phrase is used when someone helps you in an important or helpful way. Even if it's small, you can use it in many situations. Thanks for the ride. You're a lifesaver. Or, you helped me so much. You're a lifesaver. When the door closes, the house becomes quiet again. I walk over to the Christmas tree and turn off the lights, saying, I should get some rest. Tomorrow is going to be a busy day. This is a common way to signal the end of a long day. A variation is, I need to get some rest. The next morning, I wake up early and look out the window to see a thick blanket of snow covering the street. I stretch and say, What a beautiful winter morning. When you're describing weather, this phrase is perfect. What a beautiful morning. Or, what a cold winter day. I decide to go outside for a walk. As I step out, the crisp air hits my face, and I say, It feels so refreshing out here. This is great for describing fresh, cold, or energizing weather. While walking down the street, I see children building a snowman. I wave at them and say, That looks like fun. They smile and continue working. The phrase, that looks like fun, is used constantly to show interest or encouragement. Next, I walk past a small bakery with a sign that reads, Fresh Christmas Pastries. I step inside, and the warm smell of cinnamon and sugar immediately surrounds me. The baker greets me and says, Good morning. Can I help you with anything? I reply, Yes, I'd love a box of your Christmas pastries. Please. The baker hands me the box and asks, Are you getting ready for a big celebration? I smile and say, Yes, I'm hosting a small Christmas dinner. Hosting is an essential phrase because so many Christmas events happen in homes. The baker wishes me well and says, Enjoy your holiday preparations. This phrase is charming, polite, and often used in English-speaking countries during December. When I leave the bakery, I see an older woman struggling with her grocery bags. I approach her and say, Would you like a hand? This phrase is used when offering help. She smiles gratefully and says, Yes, thank you. That's very kind of you. You can reply naturally with, No problem at all. As I carry her bags to her front porch, she says, People are always so kind during the holidays. This is a phrase that expresses the warm feeling of community during Christmas. Walking back home, I think to myself, this season brings out the best in people. A beautiful phrase that reflects the spirit of Christmas. And, once again, as I reach my door, I say, There's nothing like the feeling of Christmas. This is a strong emotional phrase that natives use to express deep connection to the season. When I walk back into the house, the warmth surrounds me instantly. I set the box of pastries on the kitchen counter and say to myself, I can't wait to share these with everyone tonight. This phrase is extremely common when you're excited about something in the near future. You can use it in many situations. I can't wait to see you. Or, I can't wait to open my presents. I take a moment to look over my to-do list for the day. The list is long, filled with tasks like buying wrapping paper, preparing dinner ingredients, cleaning the guest room, and organizing the table decorations. I shake my head with a small smile and say, there's so much to get done, but I'll take it one step at a time. This phrase, one step at a time, is often used when you want to stay calm and manage tasks slowly and steadily. Suddenly, my phone rings. It's my friend Hannah calling from Canada. I answer with a cheerful tone. Hey, Hannah. How's the holiday season treating you? This is a very natural question. You can ask, how's the season treating you? Or, how are the holidays going for you? It's spring, Hannah replies. It's going great. It finally started snowing here. And everything feels so magical. I respond, that sounds wonderful. Snow always makes Christmas feel more special. This phrase is commonly used when something increases the emotional meaning of an event. Hannah then asks, are you doing anything fun for Christmas this year? This is one of the most typical holiday questions. You can answer with any plan. We're traveling. We're staying home. We're having family over. Or, I'm hosting a dinner. I say, yes. I'm hosting a small Christmas dinner with close friends. Then she asks, do you need any help with recipes? I laugh lightly and say, I think I've got it covered. But I might call you if I run into trouble. The phrase, I've got it covered, means you have everything under control. Hannah tells me about her family's tradition of drinking hot apple cider by the fireplace. I answer, that sounds so cozy. We usually drink hot chocolate or eggnog. Eggnog is a traditional sweet Christmas drink. And the phrase, we usually, is perfect for describing regular habits or traditions. Before hanging up, Hannah says, enjoy the rest of your holiday preparations. I reply, thank you. You too. Have a beautiful Christmas Eve. We say goodbye, and I place my phone down, feeling grateful for warm friendships. Next, I start preparing for dinner. I open the refrigerator and say, I need to make sure I have everything I need for tonight. This phrase is extremely common. I need to make sure. You can use it to check information, ingredients, plans, or steps. As I chop vegetables, I say to myself, cooking for Christmas always feels special. This is an easy structure you can reuse. Working during the holidays always feels different. Or, spending time with family always feels meaningful. While I cook, I hear a knock at the door. When I open it, I see my friend Daniel holding a large box. He says, good morning. Sarah, I brought the decorations you asked for. I smile and reply, perfect timing. Come on in. The phrase perfect timing is used when someone arrives at exactly the right moment. Daniel sets the box down and says, I hope these are the right ones. The store was packed. I laugh and say, it's always packed around Christmas. Thanks for going out of your way. The phrase go out of your way means someone made an extra effort to help you. We open the box together, and inside we find Christmas napkins, golden candles, and a sparkling table runner. I say, "These are beautiful. They'll look great on the dinner table." Daniel nods and replies, "I thought you might like them." I walk him to the dining room and say, "Could you help me set the table?" He agrees. And while we work, he says, "Your home always feels so welcoming during the holidays." I respond with a warm smile. "Thank you." I try to make it feel cozy for everyone. As we place the candles, Daniel asks, "Do you have a theme for tonight's dinner?" This phrase is common for events. "Do you have a theme?" I answer, "Yes. I'm going for a classic Christmas look." He nods and says, "You always have great taste." I respond jokingly, "Well, I try." This short phrase is used as a playful, modest reply. Once the table is ready, we step back and look at the setting. I say, "It looks perfect, exactly how I imagined it." The phrase "exactly how I imagined it" expresses satisfaction when something matches your expectations. Daniel checks his watch and says, "I should head out. I still have a few errands to run." Errands refers to small tasks like shopping or picking up items. I walk him to the door and say, "Thanks again for your help. Drive safely." This is a common phrase during winter when roads can be dangerous. After he leaves, I take a short break on the couch. I look at the clock and say, "Time is flying today." This phrase is used when the day feels short because you're busy. I turn on the fireplace and stretch my legs. I whisper, "I love this time of year." This simple sentence carries emotional warmth and is perfect for holiday conversations. Then, I begin working on Christmas gift wrapping. I lay out wrapping paper and ribbons on the floor. As I start wrapping the first gift, I say, "I always try to make my gifts look thoughtful." This means you put effort into presentation. While cutting the paper, I say, "Wrapping gifts is relaxing when you're not in a rush." Again, this phrase structure is versatile. Cooking is relaxing when you're not in a rush. Reading is relaxing when you have time. After wrapping a few gifts, I tie a red ribbon around one and say, "There, that looks nice and neat." The phrase "nice and neat" is perfect for describing tidy, organized things. Before placing them under the tree, I look at the gifts and say, "I hope everyone likes their presents." This is a very natural thought for gift givers. Then I place the gifts under the tree and step back to admire the scene. I whisper, "Christmas brings so much joy into the home." You can change this phrase easily. Music brings so much joy. Family brings so much joy. As the afternoon approaches, I check the time again and say, "I should start getting ready before everyone arrives." This phrase works anytime you're preparing for guests. I walk to my room, choose a warm red sweater, and say, "This feels perfect for tonight." A simple, natural phrase. As I get ready, soft Christmas music continues to play through the house, creating the perfect mood. I look into the mirror, smile, and think, everything is coming together beautifully. As the late afternoon light begins to fade, the house glows with the warm reflection of Christmas lights. I walk into the living room and whisper to myself, "The atmosphere feels perfect, just the right mix of calm and excitement." This phrase is natural for describing any balanced situation. Just the right mix of, or, the atmosphere feels perfect. I check the clock again and say, "My guests should be here any minute." This is a common phrase meaning they will arrive very soon. You can also say, "They're due to arrive any minute," or "They should be here shortly." I walk into the kitchen one more time to make sure the food is ready. I taste the soup and say, "This turned out better than I expected." You can use this phrase anytime something surprises you in a positive way. "The presentation turned out better than I expected." Or, "My results turned out better than I expected." The doorbell rings, and I take a deep breath before opening the door. On the other side is my friend Olivia, holding a small gift bag. She smiles brightly and says, "Merry Christmas." "Sarah," I reply. "Merry Christmas. I'm so glad you could make it." The phrase, "I'm so glad you could make it," is used when someone attends an event you invited them to. Olivia steps inside and hands me the bag, saying, "I brought you something small." I answer warmly, "Thank you. That's so thoughtful of you." The word thoughtful is commonly used to compliment someone's kindness or consideration. As she takes off her coat, she looks around the house and says, "Everything looks beautiful. You've outdone yourself this year." To outdo yourself means to perform even better than usual. I respond, "Thank you. I wanted tonight to feel special." Next, my friend Ethan arrives. He steps in and says, "Wow, it smells amazing in here." This phrase is perfect for commenting on delicious food aromas. I laugh and say, "Dinner will be ready soon. Make yourself at home." Make yourself at home is one of the most important hosting phrases in English, meaning relax and feel comfortable. Ethan places his coat on the rack and says, "I brought some wine for tonight." I reply, "That's great. Thank you for bringing it." This is a simple, polite acceptance. A moment later, another knock on the door. It's my friend Mia. Carrying a tray of homemade brownies, she says, "I hope you don't mind. I brought dessert." I respond, "Are you kidding? These look delicious. Thank you for bringing them." The phrase, "Are you kidding?" in this context means, "Of course I don't mind. I'm happy about it." As more friends arrive, the house grows louder with laughter and conversations. I say to everyone, "Feel free to grab a drink. We'll start dinner in a little bit." "Feel free to" is a very natural and welcoming phrase. While I take coats to the bedroom, I overhear Ethan telling Olivia, "It's been such a hectic week. I'm glad I can finally relax." Hectic week means a very busy or chaotic one. Olivia nods and says, "Same here. Christmas always sneaks up on me." This phrase means the holiday arrives faster than expected. I walk back into the living room and hear Mia saying, "I love your Christmas tree. The ornaments are beautiful." I reply, "Thank you. Some of them are handmade." Handmade ornaments are common, and the phrase, "some of them are," can be adapted easily for any detail you want to point out. I then ask the group, "Would you all like to move to the dining room?" And they nod enthusiastically. As we gather around the table, I say, "I'm so happy we could all get together this year." This phrase is perfect for friends or family during holiday gatherings. Olivia looks at the candles and says, "The table looks stunning." I smile and answer, "I'm glad you like it." Simple but natural. As everyone sits down, I place the final dish on the table and say, "Thank you all for being here. Let's enjoy dinner together." The phrase, "Thank you for being here," is warm and sincere. Ethan raises his glass slightly and says, "To good friends and a wonderful Christmas season." A simple toast, easy for learners to use in real life. We clink our glasses gently, and I say, "Cheers." It's one of the most universal English expressions. As dinner begins, conversations flow naturally. Olivia asks, "Does anyone have special plans for Christmas morning?" And Mia answers, "We usually open our presents early, then make pancakes." This structure, "we usually," is perfect for describing traditions. Ethan adds, "We always watch a Christmas movie after breakfast." I nod and say, "That sounds lovely." We usually take a walk in the morning. With these phrases, you can describe any holiday activity with ease. While serving more food, I say, "Please help yourselves." This is a polite hosting phrase, meaning serve yourself freely. Guests often respond with, "Thank you," or "Everything looks delicious." At one point, Mia turns to me and says, "Your cooking is incredible. You have to share your recipe someday." I respond, "Of course, I'll write it down for you." The phrase, "write it down," is used anytime you record information for someone. Ethan comments, "This is exactly what I needed after such a long week." I reply, "I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. That's what tonight is all about." This phrase can be used for any celebration. That's what today is all about. As dinner continues, the warm glow of candles fills the room, and soft Christmas music plays in the background. The atmosphere becomes more intimate. A little later, I bring out the pastries I bought earlier, saying, "Who's ready for dessert?" This phrase is used constantly in meals. Olivia laughs and says, "I definitely am. Everything smells so good." While I pass the tray around, Ethan says, "This is the best part of the night." And Mia jokes, "Only because you love sweets." The phrase, "the best part of the night," or "the best part of the day," is very common. After dessert, we move to the living room again. I dim the lights and say, "Let's relax for a bit." Relax for a bit is good for indicating a short break. We sit down with warm drinks, and I turn to the group. Does anyone want to share their favorite Christmas memory? This is a lovely conversational prompt, perfect for speaking practice. Olivia is the first to answer. "My favorite memory is building a snow fort with my family when I was a kid." Ethan smiles and says, "Mine is waking up early to open presents with my brothers." Mia adds, "My favorite memory is listening to Christmas songs while baking with my grandmother." I listen and say softly, "Those are beautiful memories." Christmas really brings people together. This is one of the most heartfelt Christmas phrases you can use. As the night continues, the mood grows softer and more meaningful. Someone says, "This is such a cozy gathering." and I reply, I'm glad you feel that way. The hours pass gently, filled with warm conversation, laughter, shared stories, and the true spirit of Christmas. As the evening settles even deeper into the night, the soft glow of the Christmas tree fills the living room with gentle colors. The room feels peaceful, warm, and full of quiet holiday joy. I sit down on the couch with my friends, holding a cup of warm tea, and say, this is my favorite part of Christmas, just relaxing with good company. You can use this phrase with anything you enjoy. My favorite part of the day, my favorite part of the trip, and so on. Ethan stretches out his legs and says, I could sit here forever. This is so comfortable. I smile and reply, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. Make yourself at home. Again, this phrase is one of the most essential hosting expressions in English, meaning the person can relax freely. Mia looks around the room and says, the lights make everything look so magical. This is a common phrase during the holiday season because Christmas decorations often create a warm and enchanting atmosphere. You can use this in many situations. The city looks magical at night. Or, the snow makes everything look magical. I nod and say, I always try to create a cozy atmosphere for Christmas. This phrase is useful whenever you want to describe a warm, welcoming environment. After a moment of silence, Olivia says, Sarah, do you have any Christmas traditions you look forward to every year? This is a beautiful question for conversation, I respond. Yes. I always take a quiet walk on Christmas morning. It helps me appreciate the season. The phrase helps me appreciate is good for describing habits that make you feel grateful. Ethan comments, that sounds peaceful. My family usually wakes up early and starts opening presents right away. I smile and say, that's a classic tradition. The phrase classic tradition can be used to describe anything that is widely practiced and well known, Mia adds. We always listen to Christmas music while making breakfast. Olivia responds, we do the same thing. Music makes Christmas morning feel complete. This phrase is helpful. It makes it feel complete, meaning something adds the final touch. I sip my tea and say, speaking of Christmas morning, are you all ready with your gifts? Ethan laughs and says, almost. I still need to wrap a few things. This is a phrase every English learner should know. I still need to... It works for any task you haven't finished. Mia nods and says, I'm finished. I wrapped everything last night. Olivia adds, I'm nearly done. I just have one more gift to buy. The phrase, nearly done, or almost done, is extremely common in everyday English. I lean back on the couch and say, I think this is the first year I finished my shopping early. Ethan raises his eyebrows and says playfully, I'm impressed. A simple phrase, but used very often in friendly conversations. We all laugh softly. And I continue, I wanted to avoid the holiday rush this time. Holiday rush is a phrase that describes the busy, crowded, fast-paced feeling of stores and streets during December. Mia looks thoughtful and says, I know what you mean. The stores were packed last weekend, I respond. They always are this time of year. This is another very common phrase for describing seasonal patterns. It's always busy this time of year. It rains a lot this time of year. And so on. A moment later, I stand up and say, would anyone like a refill on their drink? Refill is an important word meaning more of what you're drinking. Ethan lifts his cup a little and says, yes, please. That would be great. Olivia and Mia shake their heads and say they're fine for now. In the kitchen, I pour more tea for Ethan and check on a pot warming on the stove. I say to myself, I should bring out some snacks. Then I return to the living room with a tray of fruit, cookies, and nuts, saying, here are some little treats for everyone. The phrase little treats is perfect for describing small, enjoyable foods. Mia grabs a cookie and says, these smell amazing. I sit down and reply, they're freshly baked. This phrase is very common when referring to bread, pastries, or cookies that were recently made. After a few minutes, Ethan says, we should play a Christmas game. Olivia claps her hands lightly and says, that sounds fun. Do you have any ideas? This phrase, that sounds fun, is extremely common and always friendly. I think for a moment and say, how about we play a quick round of Christmas questions? We each take turns answering. Take turns is a useful everyday phrase meaning everyone gets their chance. The group agrees. So I begin with a simple question. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Mia goes first. Mine is The Holiday. I watch it every year, Ethan says. I love Home Alone. It never gets old, Olivia adds. For me, it's The Polar Express. I smile and say, those are all great choices. Next, I ask, what's your favorite Christmas treat? Ethan answers immediately. Gingerbread cookies, no competition. Olivia laughs and says, candy canes for me. Mia says, I love fruitcake, but only the homemade kind. Then, they all look at me. I answer, hot chocolate with marshmallows. It always reminds me of my childhood. The phrase reminds me of my childhood is perfect for emotional memories. Then Olivia asks the next question to the group. What's one thing you hope for this Christmas? This is a meaningful and reflective question. Ethan says, I hope for more time with family. Mia responds, I hope for a peaceful holiday season. I take a moment and say, I hope to appreciate the small moments. This phrase is universally effective. Appreciate the small moments. After a few rounds of questions, the room feels even more warm and connected. The conversations grow deeper, yet still stay light and enjoyable. Ethan takes a deep breath and says, you know, this is really nice. I haven't slowed down like this in a long time. Olivia nods and replies, same here. It feels good to just unwind. The phrase unwind means to relax after stress or work. Mia adds, this is exactly what the holiday season is about. And I say softly, I couldn't agree more. This is one of the most natural agreement phrases in English. As we continue talking, I glance at the clock and say, wow, time is flying. It's getting late. Mia stands up for a moment and stretches, saying, I didn't even realize how late it was. This phrase is perfect for expressing surprise about time passing. Ethan asks with a smile, Should we stay a little longer? Or is it time to head out? I shake my head and say warmly, stay as long as you like. I'm happy to have you here. This is another essential hosting phrase. As they sit back down, I turn to the group and say, I'm really grateful for nights like this. Ethan nods and replies, me too. It's nice to slow down and enjoy each other's company. The phrase, enjoy each other's company, is a beautiful and natural way to say you enjoy being with others. The room grows quieter, peaceful, and full of holiday spirit. Sarah stepped outside the warm glow of the Christmas market stall and walked deeper into the festive street, where the air was filled with the sound of cheerful conversations, distant carols, and the rhythmic crunch of footsteps on a light layer of fresh snow. She smiled as she turned back to the camera and said, now we are entering one of my favorite parts of Christmas culture. This is where everyday English phrases blend with the magic of the holiday season. So stay close, because the next collection of phrases will make your Christmas conversations sound natural, confident, and beautifully fluent. And if you hear a phrase you like, make sure you comment below so I can see which expression is your favorite. She stopped in front of a beautifully decorated Christmas window display. Inside were tiny wooden houses, glowing lights, and miniature people skating on a frozen pond. She pointed at the scene and said, this reminds me of a phrase you can use to express admiration during the holidays. You can say, it looks like something out of a Christmas story. This phrase is perfect when you want to describe a place, a picture, or even a family gathering that feels warm, magical, and cinematic. She turned back into the market, passing by a booth filled with handmade candles. A woman handed her a candle shaped like a pine tree. Sarah thanked her and said, here is a very common holiday phrase. I am getting into the Christmas spirit. This means that you are starting to feel joyful and festive. You can use it when you begin decorating, when you hear your first Christmas song, or when you see something beautiful like this candle. She continued walking, and another phrase came naturally to her mind. During the holiday season, people often say, my schedule is packed, or my calendar is full. These two expressions mean you are very busy. December is filled with events, dinners, shopping, and preparations. If someone asks you to meet and you are already busy, you can politely say, I would love to, but my schedule is packed this week. Further down the market, a group of teenagers were taking pictures in front of a giant Christmas ornament sculpture. Sarah approached them and said, let me show you a useful phrase here. When you meet someone enjoying the moment, you can say, are you capturing some holiday memories? This is a warm and friendly expression you can use anywhere during Christmas season. As she continued walking, she reached a booth filled with knitted scarves and hats. A man behind the booth said, stay warm out there. Sarah smiled and replied, this brings us to the next holiday phrase. During winter, especially during Christmas, you will hear people say, bundle up. It is freezing outside. This is a common way to tell someone to dress warmly. A more upbeat version of the phrase is, it is chilly but beautiful out here. Next, she stopped at a bakery stand where the air smelled of cinnamon and butter. A tray of warm gingerbread cookies was being placed on the counter. Sarah held one of the cookies carefully and said, "This is delightful." Here is a phrase you can use when something tastes amazing during the holidays. You can say, "This tastes like Christmas." It means the flavor reminds you of the season, especially spices like cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and cloves. She took a small bite and continued. Another phrase you will hear often is, "These bring back memories." Whenever food or decorations remind you of your childhood or of special moments from the past. This is a great and natural English expression to use. Near the bakery booth stood a tall Christmas tree. Families were taking photos with it. Sarah walked toward it and said, "Now let us talk about phrases related to Christmas trees. You can say, 'I am putting up my Christmas tree.' This means you are assembling it or setting it up. When you add decorations, you can say, 'I am decorating the tree.' If you add lights, you can say, 'I am stringing the lights' or 'I am hanging the ornaments.' All of these are natural phrases used in daily conversations in English-speaking countries. She moved a bit closer to the tree and pointed at the star at the top. When you finish decorating, the final step is usually placing the star or the angel on the top. Many families say, "Let us top the tree." It is a simple and warm phrase that can bring people together. A few steps away, she found a booth selling hot chocolate. She ordered a cup and held it with both hands. The steam floated gently into the cold air. She said, "Here are a few phrases you can say when enjoying a warm drink during winter." You might say, "This is perfect for a cold day." Another option is, "This warms me right up." You can also say, "I needed this." All of these expressions feel natural and friendly. A child passed by, holding a small, wrapped present. Sarah gave a soft smile and said, "Let us talk about gift-related phrases." A very common one is, "I still have a few gifts to wrap." This means you have not finished wrapping presents yet. Another natural expression is, "I am finishing my Christmas shopping." It means you are buying the last items on your list. When you give someone a present, you can say, "I hope you like it." When receiving a present, a warm response is, "Thank you. This is so thoughtful." She sipped her hot chocolate again and walked to a quieter area of the market illuminated by soft golden lights. Sarah spoke gently. Another important phrase for winter is, "Stay safe on the roads." Many people use this expression during snowy or icy weather. You can also say, "Drive carefully. It is slippery out there." She passed a small stage where a choir was preparing to sing. Their voices were softly warming up. Sarah paused and said, "Here is a beautiful expression for moments like this." You can say, "Their voices are angelic." It is a way to describe a beautiful, soft, and harmonious sound. If the performance is emotional and touching, you can say, "This is heartwarming." This phrase is used often in Christmas movies and gatherings. When the choir started singing a Christmas classic, Sarah continued speaking softly. Sometimes during the holidays, you may want to express gratitude. A common phrase is, I appreciate this more than you know. Another natural option is, thank you for making my Christmas special. As she stepped away from the choir stage, she said, now follow me to the next part of the journey because we still have many more Christmas phrases to explore. In fact, the next set of phrases will help you speak fluently in situations such as Christmas dinner, holiday invitations, family gatherings, and even small talk with strangers during the festive season. She gave a small nod to the camera and said, "Stay with me. We are getting deeper into the heart of Christmas English." Sarah walked past the choir and stepped into a quieter corner of the Christmas market, where the lights were dimmer and the sound of the crowd softened into a warm background hum. She stopped beside a wooden bench dusted with a thin layer of snow and turned toward the camera with a gentle smile. Now we are entering one of the most important parts of Christmas communication, she said. We are moving into phrases you will need during family gatherings, Christmas dinners, invitations, and warm holiday conversations. These are phrases that English speakers use naturally, and once you learn them, your Christmas interactions will feel smooth, confident, and beautifully authentic. So, listen closely and try repeating some of the lines out loud with me. She sat down and brushed the snow lightly off the top of the bench. The soft glow of overhead lights reflected in her eyes. First, let us talk about invitations, she said. When you want to invite someone to a Christmas event, a natural phrase is, "Would you like to join us for Christmas dinner?" This is simple, friendly, and polite. Another option is, "We would love to have you over for the holidays." This expression feels warm and welcoming. If you receive an invitation and want to accept it, you can say, "I would be happy to. Thank you for inviting me." If you need to decline politely, try saying, "Thank you so much for the invitation, but I already have plans." These sentences will help you communicate clearly and respectfully in any Christmas social situation. She stood from the bench and continued walking along a narrow path lined with glowing lanterns. Each lantern flickered softly in the winter air. Sarah paused near one of them and said, "Now, let us talk about phrases you can use during Christmas dinner. These are incredibly helpful because meals are often the heart of the holiday celebration. When you sit down at the table, you may hear someone say, 'Help yourself.' This means you are welcome to take food freely. You might also hear, 'Would you like a second helping?' This means someone is offering you more food. If something tastes especially good, you can say, 'This is delicious,' or 'This is amazing.' For a slightly more advanced phrase, try saying, 'This has so much flavor.' It is a natural compliment English speakers enjoy hearing. Sarah continued walking until she reached a long wooden table set up with holiday treats. A couple of people were sipping warm drinks and sharing quiet laughter. She turned toward the camera again and said, "During holiday gatherings, small talk becomes very important. It helps you connect with people, even if you are meeting them for the first time." One common question is, "How are you spending your holidays this year?" This is a gentle way to start a conversation. Another helpful question is, "Do you have any Christmas traditions?" Many families love sharing their personal traditions, such as baking cookies, watching classic Christmas movies, or opening one special gift on Christmas Eve. She picked up a small ornament from the table, a glass snowflake that sparkled under the lights. While holding it, she said, "When talking about traditions, you might say, one tradition I really love is decorating the tree together, or we always bake gingerbread cookies as a family." These kinds of sentences help you practice fluency and share something personal in a simple, natural way. After placing the ornament back, Sarah walked toward a small group of children building a snowman nearby. Their laughter filled the air. She smiled at the joyful scene and said, "Here is a phrase that captures moments like this. This is what Christmas is all about." People often use this expression when they feel emotional or touched by a warm, meaningful moment. One of the children waved at her and pointed to the snowman. Sarah waved back and said to the camera, "Another useful phrase you will hear is, 'Do you want to take a picture?' During the holidays, people take photos everywhere. If you want someone to take a photo for you, you can say, 'Could you take a picture for us?' This is polite, clear, and commonly used in English-speaking countries. As Sarah continued walking, she approached a small wooden cabin decorated with garlands and glowing candles. The sign above the door said, "Holiday Wishes." She leaned gently against the cabin wall and said, "Now, let us learn some phrases about giving and receiving warm wishes." A classic holiday wish is, "I hope you have a wonderful Christmas." Another is, "Wishing you a peaceful holiday season." If you want something more expressive, you can say, "May your Christmas be filled with joy and laughter." And when someone gives you a holiday wish, a natural response is, "Thank you." That means a lot. She pushed open the cabin door and stepped inside. The room was cozy, lit by soft candlelight and decorated with dozens of handwritten Christmas cards hanging from strings. She walked slowly between them and said, "This brings us to Christmas cards." Many people still send cards during the holidays. Even if they do most of their communication online, inside a card, you might write, "Sending warm wishes your way," or "Hope your holiday season is bright and cheerful." If you are writing to a friend or coworker, you can add, "Thank you for being part of my year." Simple, genuine, and thoughtful. Sarah picked up a blank card from a small wooden table and traced her finger across its surface. She said, "When you receive a card, it is common to say, 'Thank you for the beautiful card.' You can also say, 'I really appreciate your message.' These expressions show gratitude and help you interact naturally." She placed the card back, walked to the door, and stepped outside again into the cold. She took a slow breath, watching the air form a mist. Now let us move to the next category. We are going to talk about phrases related to reflecting on the year, because Christmas often makes people think about what they have learned, what they have achieved, and what they hope for in the future. As she walked through another row of lights, she said, "A common phrase is, It has been quite a year. This means a lot has happened, good or bad, and you are acknowledging it. Another phrase is, I am grateful for everything I have learned. People use this to reflect positively on difficult times. When looking ahead, you may say, I am hopeful for the coming year, or I am excited for what is ahead. Sarah slowed her pace and looked gently toward the camera. These reflective phrases are meaningful during Christmas because the holiday season is a natural time to think deeply, to appreciate your relationships, and to make space for new beginnings. She stopped at the edge of the market, where the lights faded and the night sky opened wide above her. Now, stay with me, she said softly. Part 8 is coming next, and it will bring you even more essential phrases for Christmas celebrations, New Year transitions, and everyday winter conversations. We are getting close to completing all the phrases you need to speak confidently this holiday season. Sarah stepped away from the edge of the Christmas market and into a quiet street lined with soft golden lights. The snow beneath her boots made a gentle crunching sound with every step. She glanced back at the camera with a warm expression and said, We are now entering the final part of our Christmas journey. You have learned so many useful phrases already. And in this last section, I will guide you through even more expressions that will help you speak naturally and confidently during Christmas and the transition to the new year. Stay with me until the end, because this final collection brings everything together. She walked slowly past a row of decorated houses. Each window displayed something unique. One had a wreath with soft white lights. Another had stockings hanging neatly across the fireplace. Sarah pointed toward one window and said, Let us begin with phrases about cozy winter moments, because these are common topics in conversations during the holiday season. If you want to describe a warm and relaxing moment at home, you might say, I am staying in and keeping warm tonight. This is a natural sentence you can use when you prefer comfort over the cold outdoor weather. Another expression is, I am enjoying a quiet evening by the fireplace. Even if you do not have a fireplace, this phrase can be used when you want to express a peaceful night at home. A soft wind blew across the street, and Sarah wrapped her scarf a little tighter. She said, When you want to talk about winter weather, here are some natural phrases. If the snow is falling lightly, you can say, It is snowing softly. If the weather is very cold, you might hear, It is freezing out here. And when the temperature feels even colder because of the wind, a common expression is, The wind chill is no joke. This means the cold feels extra intense. She paused near a house where a family was decorating their porch. They were laughing as they arranged strings of lights along the railing. Sarah smiled and said, Now let us talk about phrases for offering help during the holidays. If someone looks busy with decorations or preparations, you can say, Do you need a hand with that? This is a friendly and polite way to offer assistance. If you want to be more enthusiastic, say, Let me help you with that. People appreciate this kind of warm support during the Christmas season. As she continued walking, the street opened into a small, cozy park. In the center stood a tall Christmas tree glowing against the dark sky. Nearby, A couple sat on a bench sharing a warm drink. Sarah approached the tree and said, "Let us move on to holiday compliments." These are phrases that help brighten conversations and make interactions feel warm and sincere. If someone decorates beautifully, you can say, "Your decorations look amazing." If a meal tastes wonderful, you might say, "You really outdid yourself." This phrase means the person did an excellent job. Another kind compliment is, "You made this place feel so festive." These phrases are perfect for social gatherings and help build friendly connections. Sarah looked up at the sparkling tree lights and continued, "As Christmas turns toward New Year's, conversations often shift as well. People begin to talk about plans, hopes, and goals for the upcoming year. So let us explore some natural phrases for those topics. A common question during this time is, "Do you have any plans for New Year's Eve?" You can respond by saying, "I am keeping it simple this year," or "I am planning to celebrate with friends." If you want to talk about personal goals, try saying, "I am focusing on improving myself this year," or "I want to make positive changes in my life." These are natural and commonly used expressions. She continued walking through the park, her footsteps creating a soft rhythm. Then she said, "Many people use the holiday season to express gratitude. Here are a few meaningful phrases for that." You can say, "I am thankful for everyone who supported me this year." Another warm and genuine expression is, "I appreciate the people who stood by me." And when speaking directly to someone, you can say, "Thank you for being part of my life." These sentences help you express your feelings clearly and sincerely. Near the center of the park, Sarah noticed a small group of musicians playing gentle acoustic Christmas melodies. She slowed her pace and said, "Sometimes during the holidays, you might want to talk about your emotions. Christmas can be joyful, nostalgic, peaceful, or even a little emotional. So, here are a few natural ways to express feelings. You can say, "This time of year always moves me," or "The holidays make me feel reflective." If something warms your heart, you can simply say, "This means a lot to me." She stopped at a nearby bench and sat down, letting the peaceful music fill the moment. Then she said, "Now let us talk about New Year's greetings." These are essential because they are used across many cultures and conversations. The most common phrase is, "Happy New Year." But you can also say, "Wishing you a wonderful start to the new year." A slightly more advanced sentence is, "May the new year bring you peace and happiness." These are polite, friendly, and widely used. After a few seconds of silence, she stood again and began walking. She said, "During New Year gatherings, you might hear people say, 'Are you making any New Year's resolutions?' A resolution is a goal you set for the new year. To respond, you could say, 'I am working on improving my English,' or 'I want to be healthier this year.' These answers sound natural in everyday conversation. She reached the far side of the park where a quiet path led toward a bridge decorated with soft lights. As she walked across the bridge, she said, "Here is another group of useful phrases. These are for encouraging others during the holidays. You can say, I hope things go well for you, or I believe good things are coming your way. These optimistic sentences are perfect for ending a warm holiday conversation on a positive note. When she reached the other side of the bridge, the city lights opened wide in the background. Sarah turned to the camera with a soft, meaningful smile. You have now learned hundreds of natural Christmas phrases, she said. And this journey through Christmas English has brought us through markets, lights, traditions, gatherings, reflections, and moments of joy. If you want more videos like this, make sure you comment below and tell me which phrases helped you the most. And keep practicing. The more you speak, the more confident you become. She took one final step forward and said, Thank you for spending this Christmas journey with me. I am Sarah, and this is Native Flow English. I will see you in the next lesson.